Hello my friends, and welcome back to Virtual Realms. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Ranger 1, although most folks end up calling me R1 for short. Recently we've been chronicling the construction of the city that resides in the redwood forest that I have dubbed Arboria. It's a treetop city, and it should present some interesting construction and design problems that we will need to overcome. We've already looked at my base camp, and I've shown you a little bit about what's inside, although that will be a work in progress for some time. Next, I want to take one short episode and show you, well, the treetop directly behind me. That is basically going to be my aviary, and for the moment it's doubling as a heavy construction yard. I'll probably switch it over completely to avionic work of various types in the future, but for now I need the extra space for some of the heavier equipment that I, well, either can't or don't want to fit into my actual base camp. I'm going to purposefully keep this little mini-series of construction videos short, so that I can chronicle the evolution of Arboria as it is constructed piece by piece. We'll be using a variety of mods as we construct the individual components of the city, and this particular one will feature elements primarily taken from the steampunk mod as well as the Akushima mod, specifically the reinforced wood tier and the glass tier that they have available. Now, I realize that a glorified workshop is not the most exciting construction video that you might watch, but I wanted to include it just for the sake of completeness. Well, that and the fact that its location means that it's the only treetop link currently between my base camp and the rest of the city. Well, we're not going to get anything done if we just sit here all day, so let's head downstairs and across and we'll take a look at the facilities. Good morning, Tuxford. You're looking very vertically challenged today. You'll notice I leave the frame counter up in many of these scenes, and that's because I have to keep a very close eye on frame rate when putting together a build that's going to end up this big. As always, I let most of my creatures wander the grounds freely. There's a goose hanging out behind Race. Excuse me. There's just not a lot of room over here at the moment. We'll rectify that a little later, but for right now, the largest piece of machinery over here is the construction yard from the steampunk mod. It is used for various construction projects, primarily for building airships like Prometheus here. In the future, I'm hopeful that its capabilities will be expanded to include other things like perhaps dirigibles or zeppelins. Now, over here in the corner is the new industrial grinder. I'm keeping it over here because it's rather loud, and most of the equipment I keep on this particular platform is either very loud, very hot, or both. Up on the roof, I keep the steampunk electrical coil and generator. I keep them up there because, well, right on cue, when it rains, excuse me, when it rains, it fills up the part of the apparatus that requires water. I don't have to run piping to it, and I get free and continuous electricity that way for this entire tree. And this tree in particular has a very high power drain, but we'll cover the main reason for that in another video. Now, the Akushima mod has a very nice look to its glass and its woodwork. Even its lighting is, I think, rather pleasant. But I keep my fabricator in here, the electronic forge, a little storage, and some administrator functions there, and the industrial forge back in the back. Oh, and tucked in the corner is a little carpenter's bench too, just because I didn't have anywhere that I could put it at the moment. The more keen-eyed among you may notice that my windows are in a rather unusual configuration over on this wall. There actually is a reason for that pattern, but I'll wait till the end of the video to explain why. Now, as I said, I'm not going to spend a great deal of time over here because, frankly, just about all of that side of this platform is going to change. I'll eventually have an entire section of the city devoted to industry, where everything that I might possibly need to build is possible. And this will be completely devoted to the birds, but for right now, it'll have to do. I've got this side sealed off from the rest of the platform because it's a throughway onto the rest of the city. I did want to take a moment and show you the back door to the industrial facility. It's so that I can land a Quetzal here and load raw metal directly into the industrial forge. It tends to make life a whole lot easier, and this is the main connection down to the rest of the city. A nice broad pathway designed to allow my creatures to travel freely back and forth wherever they wish. This is a major consideration in everything that I design and build. Now here is the big, huge bridge that goes over to the recreational center and, well, I guess you would call it a natural science museum. We're probably going to cover that in the very next video, which should be out in just a very, very few days. Now normally I let my creatures roam right up to my front door or even within the base itself, but while I'm busy building all of this, I've needed a little bit of privacy and elbow room. So for now, these two sections, well, this section and a half, are sealed off from the rest of the city. Now I still let my saddlebirds roam back and forth. They rarely get in my way. Particularly Goose. He's fairly small and stays tucked over in the corner most of the time. But he's not too terribly shy about getting out and exploring, given the chance. The only thing I have to keep in mind is I need to keep my doors shut because he's fairly inquisitive. And doors don't pose a problem at all, no matter what the size. Here, I need to go inside anyway, so I'll show you what I mean. Come here, my fine feathered friend. We need to be thinking about lunch anyway. We're going to zip over to the landing platform that's on the other side of my main base camp. I think my Quetzal's over here right now, just to keep him out of the way. Ahead of us lies a standard automatic sliding door that comes with the steampunk mod. And something I discovered in conversations with one of my subscribers the other day, he's able to just walk right on through. Has no problem at all. And that's pretty handy sometimes, but you do have to watch him when he's wandering around. Now, the doors won't open for anyone but me, so I don't have to really worry about that, but if I do leave them propped open, which you can do, sometimes he gets places where he probably really shouldn't be. Alright, well that's going to do the video for today. I'm going to take a moment here, grab a little lunch, perhaps even catch up on a few episodes of Archer that I missed from Season 6. It's on Netflix now. Again, sorry for the shortness of this video. The next episode will have things that are a wee bit more interesting to cover, and I think you'll enjoy it. We're going to cover the Recreational and Science Center next, and it's quite a bit different. What's that? I almost forgot. Thank you, Goose. I appreciate that. He just reminded me that I didn't explain about the windows before. And since it's almost dark, we'll go ahead and nip outside, and it's a little easier to show you rather than explain. You see, while I am quite probably the most humble man that you will ever likely meet, even I recognize the value of a little subliminal advertising every now and then. That's all I've got for you for right now. And until I see you again, good hunting. Thanks for watching. I hope you were entertained. If you liked the video, please remember to subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. And I'll see you next time.